Jeopardy now! Come on up, panelists! Up we come, here we are. Please welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. Thank you. Okay. Excellent. Okay, welcome to the stage, all our panelists. Are you all up on here? Come on. Let's get away. Quick, quick, quick. We've got some exciting stuff. Stephen, there we are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we probably have about half of the world's advertising expenditure represented on this one stage. So we're going to have 45 minutes to interrogate our teams here and see what they know about what clients think about the media environment. Let's just tell our audience exactly what we're going to do, panelists. But first of all, let's introduce ourselves. From my left.
Steve King, ZenithOptimedia. Steve Allan, MediaCom.
Mauricio Sabogal, MediaBrands.
Luisa Francoli, MPG.
Mainardo de Nardis, OMD.
Jack Klues, Vivaki.
And Rickard, Posterscope worldwide.
And Alain Damond, Initiative.
Okay, audience, this is what we're going to be doing. It's a 4-part quiz, okay? First round, general knowledge. Then, the next round, second, third and fourth, all the answers are going to be based on an exclusive poll of CMOs that we've conducted across the world. We had just under 40 answers to a range of questions from global clients. In our second, third and fourth rounds, we're going to see if our agencies correspond their views to the views of the client. Okay? Let's play. General knowledge round. Fingers on the buzzers, please, ladies and gentlemen. Are we ready? Which music artist turned actor took a stake in MySpace alongside Specific Media last year? Allan.
Justin Timberlake.
Yes, he's right. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Question 2. Fingers on the buzzers, please, ladies and gentlemen. Which female global superstar has the highest number of Twitter followers? Oh, I'm sorry, you've been beaten to it, Maria Luisa. Steve?
Lady Gaga.
It is indeed Lady Gaga. A round of applause. Excellent work, all right. Almost 23 million followers on Twitter, closely followed by Justin Bieber with 20 million. Actually, interestingly, Lady Gaga has only tweeted herself about 1,300 times, whereas Justin Bieber has tweeted about 15,000 times. Very interesting. Little fact for you there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now to question number 3. Which popular gaming franchise is planning to launch a TV episode? Jack Klues.
I would say Words with Friends, but I know it's Angry Birds.
Angry Birds! Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You are right. Congratulations. Excellent. Okay, this is good. Question number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers on the buzzers, please. According to ComScore, what is the world's largest online news site? Maria Luisa.
Huffington Post.
I'm afraid it is not the Huffington Post. Okay? On my signal, you are free to buzz in. Anyone else? Audience? It's the Daily Mail Online. Absolutely. But I have a supplementary question. Which American news provider did the Daily Mail Online recently usurp in the ComScore rankings? Steve?
New York Times.
Yes, indeed. Round of applause for Steve, ladies and gentlemen. And our final question in the general knowledge warm-up round is, it's a tricky one. Here we go. The London 2012 Olympics has 11 top sponsor partners. Can you name 5 of them? Annie, Rickard.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is one of them. McDonald's.
Yes.
Barclays.
Does anyone want to win on that one?
Coca-Cola.
Así cualquiera.
Visa.
Yes.
Adidas.
Okay, Maria Luisa.
Coca-Cola. Panasonic.
Yes.
Louder.
Oh my goodness me, you too much.
BMW.
No, in fact, okay, final answer, Stephen.
Procter & Gamble.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well done. No points for anyone in that round.
No.
Together, goodness me. Okay. That was our warm-up general knowledge round. Before we move to round 2, what I just want to say is that although this is a little bit of fun, there is a very amazing prize that we're going to give away to the winner, okay? Okay, it's not too... and it really, I'm very excited about it. It's the most fantastic prize. You're all going to see it at the end of this game. Absolutely unbelievable. But anyway, so then just to give a little bit of competitive spirit. So, at the end of round 1, the general knowledge quiz, let's see the scores on the doors, please. Okay, it's tied, but in the lead is Steve King from Zenith with 2 points. Give him a round of applause, please, ladies. Okay, let's move on to our second round. This round and all the next rounds of this game are based upon the answers given by 32 global marketing directors in our exclusive poll. Many of the CMOs we've asked are actually speaking at the festival over the next few days. Many international media directors are among the audience who have fulfilled the poll over the last couple of weeks. So we're going to be looking at some key themes and topics that are affecting your business. Okay? Take a deep breath. Are you ready to play? We're ready to play. Okay, here we go. You're going to see a choice of 4 answers appearing on your screens. Okay? After you've seen the 4th possible answer, I will then allow you to buzz. Okay? Here's the question. According to our exclusive poll of CMOs, what percentage of brand managers agree with the statement, brands are now publishers? Let's see the choices. Is it 20%, 50%, 80%, or 100%? Mainardo, you're in first.
100%.
You are a little bit overconfident there. Okay. Stephen?
80%.
Indeed, it's 80%.
Yeah.
Excellent. Stephen Allan. Great time. It's still the majority, okay? Now that's interesting. Stephen, do you think that you're orientating your business model into that sort of new era of brands becoming content owners?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think today it's a business imperative for any brand to have a dialogue with its customers, and publishing can be anything from webisodes to actually just having a website to obviously social media. It's omnipresent, and I think I'm not surprised that Mainardo actually said 100%, but I think in reality it is 100%, but 80% is the next one. Yes.
You don't have to be too competitive. Okay. Mainardo, do you think the structure of media agencies are really in a position to capitalise on this idea of brands becoming content creators and owners?
What do you expect my answer to be? Of course, yes. I think that we've been trying to go in that direction for many, many years. This is not something new, and that's why I expected it in our pool of 32 marketing directors that the answer would have been 100%, because it's something that is now intrinsically part of what we do. And owning, driving, and sharing the content is at the center of every activity from a media agency today.
Allan, there was a piece of research that the World Federation of Advertisers put out there, was sort of challenging perceptions of content, saying that the ideal media budget is 0. In order that a great idea can generate earned and owned media. I mean, what challenges does that sort of mentality present to a large media communications company like Initiative?
Well, I guess I think that the key and the holy grail in this is to try to define a combination of paid, owned, and they obviously all work together in different ways according to different categories and probably different product within categories. So you need paid media to be able to drive earned media. This is really a combination that you need to make sure happens all the time. Sometimes it's great, you don't need paid media, but most of the time you need a combination.
Mauricio, just noticing that,
Sure.
Oh, of course you made that, yes, of course.
I kind of am in between these two answers a little bit. Because I do believe, I think that's a pretty interesting statistic in a survey. I would actually see that is probably could be our future. I do believe that our agency models need to focus more on own. We need to leverage our clients' existing content. We have to have them create, content, as well as drive a higher degree of earned impressions and earned exposures to the social media space. And I think in order to do that, I agree with Alain that we're in a space where paid media is the accelerant. But I think as we move from exposure models to experience models, I think our future is going to be how we drive home for the least amount of paid. None would be perfect, not probably practical. But I do think that that's a very different model than most of us were really raised with as traders.
And what's the challenge? I mean, the challenge you've got at the moment is trying to migrate that business model. You know, carrying the overhead of your legacy into the new world. How do you do that, and how do you carry the clients with you in that conversation?
I do think we do live in an and world. Excuse my voice. I do think we do live in an and world, but I think that we will migrate with the help of automation and gain the efficiencies from that allows us to reinvest into products, really into people who are more in the experiential planning space and less in the transactional space.
Richard, does media buying agencies have the capability of telling stories?
The telling stories, of course, we have different companies in this field. The situation is not just telling stories, but how is the efficient way to engage the consumer? Because today with this kind of trend, what is happening is the announcers are going are experimenting, and the media agencies are experimenting too, and we need to find the right point in order to continue having our own sense, which is spending the budget that the advertiser is investing in engaging the consumer in the right way. Not just is telling stories, not just is creating branded content, is to have the right mix between paid, earned, and non-media.
Do you think we've actually found the right mix? I mean, have your clients found the right mix yet?
Not yet. And by the way, the answer is clients are thinking that 80% of the brands are publishing now. But today, when you see the reality, not all the announcers are in that level of confidence in terms of being publishers.
So much content is now being put into social media channels, and yet one of the parts of the survey that we haven't revealed is that 64% of clients felt that actually in social media, Facebook was becoming actually too dominant. Now, if you look at the statistics, Group M is probably going to put about $400 million into Facebook this year. Stephen, do you think media agencies are sort of succumbing maybe a little bit to fashion, and that might change over time? I'm sorry, I was just referring to Group M statistics, to Stephen Allen first, and then Steve King after. Do you think that media agencies are going too far into social media, where in actual fact the metrics in terms of whether it works, what's the value of a like, and all those sort of aspects are not still relatively unproven?
Well, I think that's a fair observation. I think the reality is we're all still learning. I think at the moment the share of mind that we all give, the attention that we give to social media is way beyond actually the share of advertising spend and revenue that they're actually getting. I mean, we're talking single digits, we're talking about 400 million. It's a relatively small number in relation to the 70 billion that goes through Group M. So in that context, I would say probably not. I think your point about is Facebook too dominant. I think we all want a healthy amount of competition, but equally at the same time, our clients and us want the ability to reach decent and good numbers of people, albeit well targeted.
Steve, do you want to come in on that?
I think it's more of a general point. I think the excellent presentation that David Weldon made earlier when he talked about some confidence about the media agencies. And if we'd have been at this panel maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I think the biggest threat would have been that we were afraid that we were going to be disaggregated. And instead, I think it seems as though the media agencies have got a very strong place to play in terms of navigating and collaborating. And the reason for that is largely that in all this new confusion, whether it's analytics or data or content, there's nobody who can provide all those solutions. But actually the media agencies are pretty well placed to try and bring these different elements together. And I suspect when you look at the people that make up the media agencies, we generally tend to be collaborative, entrepreneurial, and and are able to integrate with each other. So I think that it's a very different sort of focus in terms of the confidence you're getting out of this group. And I think Facebook is one element, and we're looking at that, and that's a very new element. And obviously for all of us, we would like to have new elements to play and make sure we adapt our product in line with those needs.
Yeah. Okay, well, just to further that point, Maria-Louisa, what's preventing a client from hiring some experienced storytellers in-house who know and understand the brand, and then sieving out their stories into online networks and channels, and actually not necessarily needing the capabilities of media buying that you are currently providing?
Okay, I have two answers to that question. Nothing is preventing advertisers to hire a good storyteller, and actually I think that is something that I encourage advertisers to do, and to work with their partners like media agencies to make sure that the stories that we tell are the right ones, are good ones, and are enchanting ones. Having a storyteller somehow is not enough, and I think there is a lot of expertise in groups like ours, media agencies and PR agencies and other agencies that are not here represented, that can make the great team with the storyteller from the advertiser to enchant our consumers, to delight them, and to make sure that they follow us and follow our products and follow what we do and fall in love with our brands.
Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to question 2. This session. Fingers on the buzzers, please. There are no choices. This question, I just want a true or false answer. Okay? We asked our 32 CMOs the following question. We said to them, the overwhelming majority of advertisers believe that print media has no future. Is this true or false?
Yes, it's totally false, I think.
Absolutely right! Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. 94% of advertisers said print media has a future. You're obviously not surprised by that. Why is that?
No, we've done a lot of studies, and I personally am a firm believer in print media. If you think of print media like just paper, then there may be some more questions and some adaptations that the print media would have to do. But if you think of print media and the powerful brands that they are, and we saw an excellent example with the, I think it was the Telegraph a few minutes ago, and I think that's wonderful, and the power they have to exploit their brands and whatever is behind the brand to engage consumers and to go deeper with the advertisers. I think print is not only not dead, but has a very good future ahead.
Okay. Annie, you run a business that's predominantly been print in the purest sense, posters, global poster business. That's obviously very quickly migrating to digital. So, what issues are you finding in that transfer of your business?
I think that print in out-of-home will disappear, in the sense that one day everything will be digital. I'm quite certain. I'm not quite sure when that will be, but it'll probably be sooner than any of us expect. The challenges that presents people working in the industry are that I think in the past the outdoor industry has tended to occupy its own special little place with its own language and those funny people who work in posters. And what we have to do now is we have to be part of this bigger, if you like, this bigger ecosystem. And so we have to be able to demonstrate how out-of-home drives search, how it influences digital behaviour, what role it plays in the mix, and looking into the very near future, I think we're right on the edge of mobile transacting becoming quite normal via poster sites, so connecting data, how we use that data, how that influences what we recommend to clients. All of those challenges, not dissimilar to other media, but sort of new for our medium, if you like.
Alain, what advice would you give to print publishers in keeping their offer to you, the agencies, fresh, inviting, engaging, and ultimately providing value for money for your customers?
Work across platforms, and lots of publishers have done an amazing job actually in leveraging tablets and all that. I think David referenced a great ad in The Guardian that you guys have seen, I think, and I think it's a fantastic example that shows how a story can start somewhere and ends up somewhere else. I think less and less the question of survival of media is the right question. 94%, everyone agrees on media. Digital makes every media, whether it's TV, print, radio, was the more interactive, more interesting, with more potential. I remember a few years ago, everyone was talking about TV, the end of TV. TV with connected TV has never been as strong as of today. Mainardo first, then Jack.
I think that one of these days perhaps we should start not calling them print anymore. Because really what we're talking about is a content companies, which have either a huge degree of specialization in certain subjects, or the capacity to have widespread information constantly updated. So, as content company, of course they've got a huge future. The major issue that you were referring to before, I think, is still getting the consumer to pay for it, and to have the right value for it. Because somehow we're still used to have too much information and content free, whenever it's online, but not used as consumers to pay for it in a proper way. So that is a challenge for the future. But the fact that print as content companies will have a very successful future, I think there's no doubt.
Jack first, and then...
just an add-on comment, pardon me, Charlie, that I would say, the publishers they're brilliant. These are people who know their readers, know their audiences, maybe better than any other media owner in our industry. And I think that in a themed media festival, it's all about data. One suggestion I would add to other good ones that have been made by your panel is that they have great understanding of their audiences and their circulation bases, and the ability for that to be a little bit more opened up and be able to tap that and merge it with other databases, I think will be not only to their benefit, but the benefit to our clients and their products. Thank you, John.
Yeah, all I was going to say was, though there is a future for the medium, I don't see a future for everyone. And I think that what we will see is continued and actually quite rapid consolidation. And I think those publishers that learn how to actually charge for their content in one form or another are more likely clearly to survive. I think Newsform, Murdoch's been probably one of the smartest at doing that. And the only way you can actually charge for your content is if you're offering me something that's unique and different, and I can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, I would agree. I think when you're talking about print, when you're talking about mobile, you're talking about television, you can't really say it, categorise everything in that medium into one single word. Because in print, you've obviously got multi-platforms, you've got web, you've got apps, you've got magazines and newspapers. And I do agree that there's going, while we're all optimistic about print, people are still going to read printed, media. My kids, for example, I don't think they've ever bought a copy of the Daily Mail, but they're all reading Mail online, which is why I knew the answer to that question. But there is going to be definitely consolidation, as Stephen says, and there are going to be fewer newspapers, both nationally and particularly local. And I think when you look at the local sector, where you're losing both readers and subscription, and advertising migrates to the internet, you're going to see a very rapid change in different categories. Just to call it a single media like print is a sort of misstatement of the question.
Mauricio, you run world markets, so many developing new economies around the world. In most of those markets, print circulations are actually on the rise. So presumably you're still very much a fan of the media.
Not really. The trend in world markets is exactly the same. Of course, the learning curve is different. The markets outside the most important ones are a little delayed in adopting certain things because they are waiting for the learning curve. But I think that the answer is wrong. The answer is true. It's not false. Why? Because we have to differentiate between what is print media and what is read platform, which is different. I think today, for me, the only media that are going to survive, and the redefinition of media are considered satellites, radio frequencies, or cable. And through those media, we receive all the platform, the platform to view, to listen, and to read. Of course, when you see the new applications, and when you see the difference between 2 years ago, where it was not certain, and today, where we can see the trend, that is the traditional printed media is moving to applications. We can test with the public how many of the public use the daily newspaper printed in paper to read the news. Just few.
Yeah. How many people still read a daily newspaper in print format? Few. How many have now changed their reading habits to read daily content on their iPads or phones? Okay. All right. Let's move on to question 3. Fingers on the buzzers. Yes, exactly. We're getting finished now. Okay. Here we go. You're about to see those 4 answers again. You need to pick one that you think corresponds with what clients and marketing directors think. Okay. What percentage of clients said that the money they spend on mobile will double in the next 2 years? Is it? Nobody. 3%. 65%. Stephen Allen's quick on the draw, ladies and gentlemen.
Catch him up. I say 85%.
You are correct. Absolutely. A very big swing, as it were. Okay, let's just talk about and talk about how you react to it in your businesses. I mean, every day on YouTube, on the mobile, you get 200 million downloads of video, which is amazing. You've got 70% of the money spent on mobile at the moment is around search. You get the sense that there's going to be a change coming. We've got different forms of mobile. We've heard with the OMD session about mobile retail. We have mobile display, we have mobile search, all sorts of other different areas of mobile. So my question is to Maria Luisa first. Where is the opportunity with mobile as far as you're concerned? Which area of the mobile channel excites you the most?
Okay. I think it's difficult to separate. It's a comprehensive because one is very linked to the other. So you're talking about retail, but retail is also payment forms. You've got a retail, search, payment form, so everything has to be very linked because everything is providing part of the same solution for clients to do business with consumers and to do business in a way that is convenient, that is affordable, and that is likable. So in our company, for instance, we have declared this year like the mobile first year, and mobile has to be first, and we have to think, and we are training our people to think about mobile first. So that would be implemented or not, but that exercise is a must and is giving us very good results in changing the way we operate, the way we think about clients' situations, and also the solutions that we are providing for them. So everything is exciting, and I think it's the next big exciting thing after the appearance of the internet 15 years ago.
Okay. We'll come to you in a minute, Stephen, because you've got the question right. Jack, you're probably just quite an early developer in mobile, but the acquisition of phone value and so on. So where does your business stand in mobile right now?
Well, you want us to be a little more controversial, and I can't on this particular question. I think that's exactly right. I think that what you set the question up already, Charlie, to give us the answer. It's about convergence. What we've got is a channel, if you will. It's probably more than that, which is e-commerce, it's search, it's location-based, social media now. And I think it's got a tremendous opportunity. If I pick a space that's in e-commerce, we've done some work, pardon me, for a Samsung client. And I'm sorry, my facts right here. I think about 50% of consumer electronics shoppers who are just going to search, regular online search, will make a purchase in that space in about 30 days. The same, another 50% though who are searching on mobile make that purchase in a week. And I think that those are pretty interesting, formidable figures that clients like Samsung and many others are going to find. Even if you aren't selling product online in a pure e-commerce place, you're going to know that's where your prime customers are as they relate to a potential purchase in China.
I'm going to stick with this slide for a second because I want to get Annie.
I think that what will happen is that the planning for mobile and out of home will get closer and closer. And what I mean by that is, so people are searching on their phone, that often means they're outside the home and they're searching. That information will inform advertisers on what to say and when and how to say it. And that in turn will then influence what advertisers say through mobile advertising as well. So I think it'll be a sort of virtuous circle of learning, and they will move much closer together as disciplines.
Just that every year for the last 5 years at least, someone says this is the year of mobile. It's every year, actually. So hopefully this is going to be the year. But I mean, the question says, are they going to double their investment? The investment is so small right now that even doubling it is not to make it big enough. And I remember 10 years ago we talked about the internet gap. I said to a client, whatever you do, you have to invest more in the internet because your consumers are the internet. And there's a mobile gap today, so the first thing to do is really look at how much clients invest in mobile, whatever the way you use mobile, because the consumers are actually using it, and for lots of reasons, there is still, I don't know if it's shyness or the lack of understanding of the media that prevents this gap from being bridged.
And back to you, Stephen. The question is, do you think agencies, media agencies, potentially missing a trick in mobile? I mean, if you look at the last couple of years, Google bought AdMob, you've got MOB just recently being bought by Singtel, so it's going to a carrier and operator. You have Millennial choosing route via the IPO. So some of these big opportunities that were out there for agencies to possibly invest in or acquire seem to be slipping away from your grasp.
I think that's a fair observation. I think though the other thing we've got, if I talk for MediaCom for a moment, perhaps we're paying. It's not necessarily our business to take bets on organisations always, and at the end of the day, our job is to service our clients. We've got to have the right technology and resource. For everyone that you back, another two can actually go wrong. But I think going back to the question, if the question had said we're tripling in the next 2 years, I still would have gone 85%, and I would still have gone the same if you'd have said quadruple. And I think for me at the moment, every conversation that I have with a client, it feels like 50% of the conversation, or 50% is about social media, the other 50% is about mobile, and they're actually interlinked. And I think the big area of opportunity is without our transaction.
Okay, let's move to transaction then. Let's hurry this quiz ahead. Are you enjoying this so far?
Yes.
It's an unusual format, isn't it? We just thought of it a couple of days ago. You can't believe the panic on the faces of our production team when we said, please could you erect some buzzers, Anyway, let's crack on. Your fingers on the buzzers, please, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move to the transaction and the trading. You'll have 4 choices. Let's clear the screen. Here we go. What percentage of clients think trading desks are a welcome development in the industry? Is it 32%, 52%, 72%, or Jack Klues? Oh, buzzer works on this side.
I'd say 52%. Oh, 7%.
Mainardo?
72.
Yes, you're right! Oh, it's so unfortunate. That's a tricky, that's a curveball, isn't it? Indeed. 23 out of the 32 responses said that trading desks were a welcome development in the industry. Why do you think that is?
Well, I couldn't find any negative. I mean, the issue is that how you use it and what for, not if it is a welcome development. Of course, it's anything that delivers more efficiency, that is in real time, that allows us to use the vast, rich data and analytics that we have in order to have real-time trading opportunities. Of course, it's welcome. That doesn't mean that you should use it for everything all the time, and especially in situations where you need a certain amount of quality.
I'm going to ask just a quick supplementary question. It won't appear on your screen here. It's not a multiple choice, I'm afraid, so it's a tricky one. I'm just going to ask the question out there, see if you can get near to the answer. What percentage of clients agreed that trading desks lack transparency? Another again.
No,
Do you want the number, or do you
Yes.
want 55%?
I'm going to give it to you. Give him a good number. Yes, exactly. The answer is actually 72%, but I thought it was a bit unfair to have it. Just going to bang, 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 like that. So, anyway, so you were right by thinking it was the majority. Why do you think that? Maybe that goes to Jack.
Well, I only raised my hand because that's why I picked 52 on the first answer. Because I think that it's, in order to answer it correctly, it's a great opportunity as it relates to online advertising, online media placement. But when it gets into trading desks, I do think there's a lot of misinformation. I think the trading desks that the agencies are developing are terrific because they bring the discipline, the transparency, the control that we bring to all other media placements into the online space. And where I think some of the misinformation is is that the agencies, I guess you might say we were a little late to that party. Ad networks went in there, bought inventory, arbitraged it, and now, with the advent of our own trading desk, are having to fight for a share of those dollars, and in some cases fight for survival. And that can bring out some interesting conversations as a result. And so for me, I believe that the agency trading desks are a good thing. Certainly our experience has been one of transparency and not arbitrage. And I think that's the case of many. And not to throw rocks at the ad networks as a result, but it's a different business model.
I think perhaps, and I'll put this question to Steve first, if I may, to bring you into the conversation here, because I think what the clients are afraid of a little bit is that as this issue of rebates gets looked at more and more vociferously by advertisers, they fear that as that opens up, becomes more transparent, that the margin requirement that your holding companies are demanding of you will transfer to the trading desks, and your algorithms will have some sort of margin component in it. Do you think that fear is fair?
Obviously, I'm going to say no to that. I think the benefit of the trading desks is the points that were made earlier. It's all about scale and volume and analytics, and you combine those factors together when there's a surfeit of supply, and hopefully, I think that people who challenge the fact that this is non-transparent are those on the outside who are envious of the scale or success or the knowledge or volume that we've got. And I think it's, as we would say, a red herring, that this is something to do with non-transparency.
So are all DSPs the same? I mean, and where's the point of difference between, say, Group M's Access and audience on demand? What would you say the fundamental point of difference to the audience?
Well, I can't speak for others. I think in our case, and in the case of Access, it's our own proprietary technology. It's not done on a JV basis with third parties such as Google, and the reason that's important to us is because it allows us to protect our clients' data and give what we believe is more privacy for them, and ultimately for their customers as well.
Mauricio?
No, I want to say about the transparency issue is when clients think and scored 70-something% that the trading desks are not transparent, they're assuming that we are playing kind of a dishonest game, which is not true. We have, to your point, we have a strict contracts with clients and strict policies in keeping all of our business transparent. It doesn't mean that we cannot analyze different sources of income and put it over the table and discuss with the client, because it's different when the client pays 1% losing and we lose money than when we put over the table all the sources of income and we explain to the client how we can have a profitable business.
A final word?
Final word, okay. Not only because of the trading desks and the rebates and all of that, I think our business, just by the pure nature of our business, we're managing large amounts of money for our clients. They trust us, you trust us, advertisers, with that money. So our business should be that of trust. If there is trust, anything can go. If there is no trust, it doesn't matter if it's a trading desk or if it's a rebate or if it's a contract. If there is no trust, nothing will work and nothing will be enough.
I think we'll come to that. We're running a little bit tight for time, unfortunately.
Can I give you one comment about it?
What? Yes, you may.
Thank
You may.
Because I'm such a pusher. And then probably Bernardo will jump on you too on it. I think when I see that high statistic from the CMOs that you asked the question about, I think the difference is they're questioning whether in a trading desk, the agency's acting both as seller and buyer simultaneously. And in our AOD case, and probably other trading desks, as long as we continue to act as a buyer and apply the same discipline, the same rules of engagement we would in any other media transaction, I think that's why the transparency issue, to Steve's point, it's a bit of a red herring.
Okay, and I would love to meet the 32 CMOs because I think they're working with the wrong partner.
Many of them are in the room right now. Right. So final question. There's not a multiple choice. All I need to do is to refer to the cards in front of you and pick up your pens, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're going to show the audience a reveal to this question. It is a statement. We asked our clients the following statement. Is this statement, as far as they were concerned, is it true or false?